great morning, everybody. Coach Sagasta, Coaching Beyond. Hey, you already know, no sugar in my coffee. It's Monday morning. It's the first episode of more to come. Our fourth year, no sugar in my coffee. Continually to stay committed to the process, to the journey. You get what I'm saying? So, absolutely honored and privileged to be here with you guys. It's my first Monday to be back with you guys. Had a great and magnificent vacation. Spent a lot of time on the road. Definitely excited to be back home and to get started back in my class. Grinding this last semester, 4.5 months of school left. For you parents, you only got 4.5 months, and your scholars, your young educated minds and hearts will be home for the summer. So what are you going to do? Right? So I can't wait. This semester, I started a new class at my school, which is life skills. From teaching them how to cook, how to balance a checkbook, how to fill out a resume, how to prepare themselves for an interview. They're in middle school, but I am preparing them for high school, for college. It is a college preparatory school, so I got to get them ready for life. Nonetheless, I definitely want to say thank you, everybody, to everybody that's watching on Facebook, everybody on YouTube, everybody on Periscope, on LiveMe, on Instagram. Thank you so much for the 4 years of support. Thank you so much to Mega Toppers, who makes this possible, our #1 sponsor in the tri-state area, who brings quality when it comes to pizza. All right, so thank you guys so much. Yesterday, I was just on the B. I had a great time. Kat Smith, Ashley Marie, Joey Merrigan, thank you guys for inviting me onto your show, Second Chances. Had a great time of elaborating and distinguishing the story of Coach Sagasta. It was a great opportunity, great time, and I can't wait. I was just invited yesterday, another praise. Thank God Almighty, thank God Almighty, thank God I'm free at last. Invited to Robert Shaw's event in June in Indianapolis, where your host with the most, Coach Sagasta, takes the stage and definitely shares some tips and advantages on taking your life to the next level and how to break free from the oppressed. I can't wait. But I came on here to share something with you. You. All right, here we go. So listen close, because I'm about to share something with you guys. I hope that you guys can use this. Again, as I always express with you guys for the last 4 years, I'm not asking you to believe everything that I share with you. I'm asking you to take just one thing away from a message, from a lecture, and that you apply it to your heart, mind, and soul. And that it move you in the right area, in the right path of where you want to be. Because that's important to me. Like literally, that's a blessing to me when you are applying it. When I get those private messages, and you're saying, Coach Sagasta, your message has helped me transform myself from the good parent to the great parent to the extraordinary parent. Or as an educator, you really inspired me to aspire to really be more genuine in my profession. Whether it's educator, whether it's a lawyer, whether it's a doctor, I know for sure that doctors don't read magazines on wrestling. They don't get into the funk. They're continually understanding that they got to go forward in the process. So I want to read this to you because this is a great story, a great example among all the other 379 or 400 books we have in our home. This particular book, this particular story should send a message to you today. And I'm going to share it with you guys. Hey, Rachel, what's going on? Everybody on Facebook, thank you guys so much for tuning in and for sharing this message out. And please, when you have the time, please, for those who are watching the replay, chime in where you're definitely at. If you're in Indianapolis, if you're in Chicago, you're in Miami, you're in Detroit, wherever you're at, I want you to chime in, okay? So hold up. It says this is the Apostle Paul, the great Apostle Paul, talking to his son. And he says specifically, right here in chapter 6, I want to back up because I'm about to dilate. I'm about to just dilate on verse 7. But chapter 1 and verse 6, it says, wherefore I put thee in remembrance. I'm remembering that thou stir up the gift of God. Now here's again. The Apostle Paul is telling his son, I am about to remember something that the gift of God has been given you. As you've seen the title, for those who don't see this title on Periscope or on YouTube or on Instagram or on LiveMe or on Facebook, my title, if you can, is The Power. Most people in life today are oppressed. For those that don't know, America is the leading #1 oppressor when it comes to pornography. 89% of the world's pornography comes out of America. You talk about oppression. You wonder why our country is in the shape and form that it's been in for the last 20, 30, 40 years. You get what I'm saying? Like 1971 is when the computer started coming out. In 1980, was it 85? 85 is when pornography took effect on the social, on the World Wide Web and took flight. 89% of the world's pornography comes out of America. And you wonder why we have such a corrupt system, a broken justice, a broken system, a broken record. It says right here, it says, for I remember, this is the Apostle Paul, one of the great philosophers, one of the greats among all greats, long before Og Mandino, long before Eric Thomas, long before Tony Robbins, long before Bob Proctor, long before Jack Canfield, long before Miles Monroe, long before Les Brown, long before the greats. Long before the greats, there was this man right here, and he was talking to his son. He was sharing with his son that I want you to notice right here. He says, remembrance that thou stirrest up the gift of God. Verse 7, it says this. He says, for God hath given us not to fear. Not to fear. Are you hearing me? Like, you go through life. Even I have been there where I have given up in areas in my life. For 30 years, I was killing myself in thought, oppressed by the opinions of other people, oppressed by the labels that other people were putting on me. I was living in a prison for 30 years. But he says right here, when I found freedom, when I found the gift, when I found this opportunity, when I found the treasure, when I got up and I seeked, in Matthew it specifically says, ask and it shall be given, seek and you shall find, knock and it shall be opened unto you. You and you. All right, so hear me out. It says right here in verse 7, it says, for God had not given us spirit of fear, but the power. But the power. He's given you, me, everybody on the face of this earth, the power to wake up. The power to wake up with enthusiasm. The power to wake up and be more optimistic. The power to be more kind. The power to show love. The power, it says right here, he says, but the power and of love and of a sound mind. I'm just saying, I'm just reading you. Don't hate the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just sharing with you what has been hidden from the eyes, from the ears of so many people around the world. I'm just sharing with you, the viewer and the listener, what has been hidden. You think that James Allen was the first to recognize this? You think Og Mandino was the first to recognize this? You think Dr. Vincent Peale was the first to recognize this? You think Napoleon Hill was the first to recognize this? Yo, you think C. Clement Stone was the first to recognize this? No. Mr. Gladstone? No. You know what I'm saying? This goes long before them. Long before the power has been given you, every single person that's on the face of this earth. And sometimes we don't know how to open up that door to receive the power. But once you do, once you find, and I'm going to share with you how I found my power, how I found my purpose. And I shared this yesterday. Literally, for me to understand, I had to love myself. Self-concept. The self-concept I had to step back and look at my life from a different perspective. I had to see myself. I was not living in myself. I was living in the stories and the labels and the oppression of other people. They were setting up the destiny for where I wanted to be, and that's not who I am. That's not who you are. You have a purpose. You have power. It says right here one more time, it says, for God, this is the Apostle Paul telling his son, he says, for God hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. Don't let nobody tell you anything otherwise. You hear what I just said? I'm just sharing you black and white. Absolutely black and white. There's no gray. I'm not sugarcoating anything. You already know the label here. No sugar in my coffee. You already know the label here. You want to follow your dream? Yo, you want to follow your dream? Yo, you want to follow your dream? Yo, you want to follow your dream? I'm just saying. It says, we are not to have the spirit of fear. Stop fearing the inevitable. Stop putting a label on the limits of where you can put yourself. It says right here, it says, but of the power. We have the power. All right? And of love. Stop hating yourself. Start loving yourself. You know what I'm saying? If you're a little chunky, do something about it. If you're a little slow, do something about it. If you can't cook, do something about it. If you can't drive right, do something about it. Don't hate the source, hate the resource. Do you hear what I said? One more time. Don't hate the source. Don't hate the source, hate the resource. You don't go to no disrespect for anybody that works at O'Reilly's or AutoZone. No disrespect. But literally, if I break something on my vehicle, I don't go immediately to AutoZone or to O'Reilly's. No, I go to the source. I go to the source, the manufacturer. I go to the source. So what I'm saying to you is I went to the source. When I wanted to be in my power, when I wanted to see my gift and my opportunity, I went to the source. Yeah, I made some mistakes along the journey. Who hasn't? Hell over high water, can somebody stand up and say, yo, I have done it all, Coach Sagasta. I am free. I have never done anything wrong. You're a liar. And there's a place in hell for you. I'm just saying. Look, I love you guys. I hope that you guys tune into the podcast later on. Don't forget to check out my blog, Constant365 at blogspot.com. I appreciate you guys. Have a great and marvelous weekend. As always, you already know, making a masterpiece, baby.